Hello, everyone. Chris Sawyer here. We got the Varietal Show. We're back. Sawyer Som in the house. I got some great friends here today. I was on the way down to Central Coast, and I happened to stop by to see my good friends here at the fabulous Verde Vineyards. And this is in Santa Clara Valley. Believe it or not, this area has a big history of growing grapes here. And when you cross this area, you're coming through, the Bay Area, and you're going south on 85 and 101, you can really see why this area has been here for a long time. It's all about crops. And there's a lot of this area that goes around the nation as far as the lettuce and broccoli and everything. But there is wine here, and that is why my good friend Jeff Ritchie, right over there, has been a great winemaker in this area for a long time. I knew he was in town, and so I wanted to stop in and visit George, who owns this fabulous winery and vineyard that you could stop by anytime you're in the Gilroy area. And I know I say Gilroy, so the first thing you guys are thinking about, Gilroy Garlic Festival. Of course it's still here, but if you come down here, you have to stop in and visit these guys as well, like I did. So, welcome. I feel welcome here, you guys. So, tell us a little bit about this amazing property that you purchased, George.
Hi, I'm George Green. My wife and I, Linda, bought this property about 8 years ago. We initially bought the piece of property behind me that you can see the house over there, and we needed to have some kind of landscaping. So everybody told me, well, plant grapes. And we looked around and saw a bunch of these small vineyards around here that are absolutely fantastic, making really small boutique wineries that are out of control. So we decided we'd put some grapes in and use it just to sell the grapes and pay for the taxes. Well,
all about tax money, you guys.
Yes, things spun out of control. We bought the next 10 acres and built this winery. And here we are today.
Yeah.
It was a moment of insanity, but it's working out wonderfully.
And they make great wines. That's the thing. So
welcome to Verde Vineyards.
Awesome. Jeff, you've got some background here. Tell us a little bit about your background and why, you've been up to Napa, Sonoma so many times. You have a lot of experience up there. How does this kind of fit in with what we have up there in the north? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's interesting here that if you look at it, and I've been here since 1997 with Colochance and other wineries, and the unique thing about this area is if you look at the geography of the Bay Area, Napa and Sonoma, the Golden Gate comes in and that cool weather goes up valley. Well, same thing happens here, but it goes south. So it has almost the same climate as Napa and Sonoma. And if you look around at the hills, they look a lot like Napa and Sonoma. So.
It does. And it's interesting, too, because we're kind of like, if we were to go over the hills here, we'd be in Monterey and Watsonville and those kinds of areas right over here. So we're really kind of closer to Santa Cruz to Monterey zone. So it's different than when you get down to the lower part of Monterey County or the upper part, the north, because then you're kind of coming right off Monterey Bay. So this is more coming off the bay, like San Francisco Bay, where this wind is coming through, and through some of these amazing little channels through the mountains. So these are the amazing mountains behind us, very steep, protecting this area from the big winds that are coming off the ocean.
Yeah, and it's beautiful right now.
Yeah.
But I got here at 8 o'clock this morning, and there was a good little fog layer over here. It was maybe 60 degrees, 55 degrees, and it's going to warm up to 90 degrees today. So the diurnal temperature change is beautiful. It keeps the acid in the wines, keeps the color. It's a great growing region. It just hasn't been really appreciated lately.
Yeah, and I think I was telling them the story. At one point, as a member of the media, we were flown here out of Napa, believe it or not, in this cool little twin-engine plane that the guy was buffing, the propellers and everything. And we flew here, and we got to see Jeff, and he was at Colochance, which is right up against that hill originally, but we got to taste through a lot of the wines from here. It is definitely under the radar, but this wine area is awesome. And we're tasting one of the great little rosés. So this came right from this vineyard here.
Right there and right there.
right there and right there. So the one that we were tasting before, which was the last vintage, came from, it was just Merlot and Syrah, and this newer one has a little bit of Sangiovese in it too. So this is the kind of grapes that you can grow here. This is not technically a Pinot Noir zone. It's a little warmer, but the fact is these kind of more Bordeaux varieties and Italian varieties go great here. So I thought this would be a great kickoff for you guys to get to know this area, you know, the Santa Clara area, but also the Gilroy area. And where we are really legitimately, that is the eastern mountains that kind of are the part of the valley, and those are the western mountains over here behind us. So it's a really unique place. And I mean, anyone that's going down to Central Coast is going to come through this area. It's just going to happen if you just don't go through Monterey the whole way. But I think that that's why it's right here in front of us, and people just don't understand that this is a really good wine growing area. And this is a great example, is the Verde Vineyards. Here, here. So tune in for more on these guys, because we're going to do a nice sit-down tasting later. But I thought that this would be a really good experience for you guys to kind of say, gosh, you know what? Maybe we need to stop by there next time. I think that's a really good idea.
As you're heading south, just jump off, exit 360.
Exit 360, boom.
Come on over and get back on and go down.
I love that fact too, because that's actually how much George paid for this one little piece of property here, is $360,000, and what a steal. But the exit is actually exit 360 on the freeway, so go figure. I just love it. But no, I really appreciate you guys having me here, and I think that just for my great viewers out there to really know that this is an area where, wow, we haven't really tried it. We didn't know that Merlot could grow there. We didn't know that Cabernet could grow there, or Syrah, or Sangiovese, as we see right behind us. But it is a very interesting growing area, and this is really one of the agricultural centers of California. That really, this is what made this area so famous, is agriculture. So without further ado, thanks for joining us, and remember, Verde Vineyards. Yes. Woo!